This next section will cover grant eligibility and funding for the Minnesota Promise Act. Specifically, we'll talk about the 5 core eligibility requirements in order to be approved for a grant. We'll also discuss how much funding is available by business size and what that funding can be used for. In order to be eligible, you must be an active Minnesota business that is operating inside of the state of Minnesota. Also, you must be a small business defined as having a gross annual revenue of $750,000 or less based on your tax filings. You also must be operating for at least 2 years in order to submit those 2 years of tax filings that are required. You must be a registered business with the Secretary of State, including but not limited to LLCs, 501c3s, S Corps, and others, or a sole proprietor that has been paying taxes on revenue, and you will be required to submit a Schedule C if this is the case. Last but not least, you must be within a specific neighborhood that is outlined inside of the Promise Act legislation. Select neighborhoods are in North Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, and St. Paul for this particular part of the funding. This represents North Minneapolis boundaries for eligibility. If you scan the QR code in the lower right-hand side of this screen, you will be able to access a live Google map that gives you more descriptions and will allow you to see more clearly where this area is located. For North Minneapolis, there is $29.4 million allocated over the course of 2 years. Some of the areas that are highlighted include West Broadway and Camden, but most of North Minneapolis is a part of this particular funding group. Areas of South Minneapolis include Lake Street, 30th and Chicago, Franklin Avenue South, Nicollet Avenue, and the River Store corridors. But if you would like additional details on other areas that may be included, please scan the QR code in order to see a live Google map. South Minneapolis has $24.8 million allocated toward it over this 2-year program. And also in areas of St. Paul, University Avenue, Midway, East Side, and others are included. This QR code will take you to a St. Paul map that gives you more detail, and there is $18.4 million allocated for areas of St. Paul. How much funding is determined by the size of your business related to how much revenue you receive on an annual basis. There are 3 groups of funding that are being considered as we get this program up and running. For smallest businesses in this grant program will be likely between $10,000 and $100,000 in gross revenue, and the assumed size of grants can be up to $10,000 for that particular group of businesses. For businesses that gross $100,000 up to $350,000, there's up to $25,000 grants available. And for those from $350,000 up to $750,000, there are up to $50,000 grants available. And a reminder that if your business receives greater than $750,000 in revenue, you are not eligible for this program. The $10,000 minimum revenue is being confirmed with deed. Please check back with our website to see clarification on that particular set of eligibility rules. What can this grant be used for? Grants are intended to support normal business operations or working capital. Examples of these use cases are payroll, rent, mortgage payments and utilities, the purchase or upgrade of business equipment, and other routine operational expenses.